All right, back into ZBrush, and I'm just going to start doing some sculpting in areas and defining some of these features a little bit more. All right, so there's like my little demo area. Let's see how that looks. I kind of dig that. I can work with that. And I think I can work that into something fleshy too. So let's go to the head and do broader strokes. Maybe we only have a couple of these. Let's remesh. Like how that's looking. Let's see what this means over on a shoulder piece here. And mind you, I'm still in concepting mode. I'm not even thinking about my construction yet. I'm not thinking about my final sculpt yet. I'm building the design. I mean, it's something that's a lot more complex than, say, you hear first week's Nublodon, right? And the amount of thought we had to put into that. There's a lot more thought that has to go into this. So I'm looking at these areas of busyness, and I'm building those in and determining on what I'm going to do there that flows with the rest of the design. And then I'm going to work in my areas of rest and figure out what I'm going to do in my areas of rest and how I'm going to fill that. I know that sounds funny. I'm going to fill in the areas of rest, but we are. Because this thing is big. You know, keep on saying it, you know, but it has a lot of implications. And that's why I keep on saying it. There's a lot we have to determine. And that's why we're living here so long. You know, that's why, you know, I'm dedicating so many days and so many weeks just to this one character. All right, it's starting to come together, I think. Let's look at it from the player's perspective and see what we've done and how it applies. And check it out. Look how little I'm actually seeing of this, of what I've just done. I'm glad I did this right before I went on much further. I see a little bit here, but I'm definitely going to have to build up a lot more down here. So I like that element, and I like that texture. Go. This is definitely going to be seen from underneath. Let's select our guy here, and let's rotate around. It's got the legs. That's something interesting to look at, kind of cool. Leading up into here, we're getting some abstract and textural shapes. I like that. Like I said, this thing is sort of becoming its own environment. You know, you could drop this onto a plane or just into a giant cave that has no other features, and you're not going to feel bored visually. And that's what I'm aiming for. It's a little bit different when you're sculpting at this scale, right? It's a little bit different than, say, if you were sculpting something that was smaller. Gosh. I don't know, but I'm curious to see where you guys are at too, like mentally where are you guys at? I don't even mind you giving me a critique, you know, or two. Simon, I like the suggestions you give me so far, they're good. But I would just like to hear where your heads are at. Either, you know, you can critique me or critique yourself, and I want to hear your own crit. That'd be nice. It'd be nice to see where you guys want to go. None of you posted up your inspirations. I don't think I saw that anywhere on the discussion board. So if you guys could, as part of the assignment for the week, I want to hear self-crit. I want us to hear how you're thinking about your work. Because going into Monday, and you could get this in by Monday. Going into Monday, I want to hear about just how you're thinking about your art in general, you know, and try and help out with that. Because I mean, the thing is, like, you know, I've been making a living as an artist, maybe not as just a ZBrush artist. It's been in the past, like, you know, 6 years. But I've been making a living as an artist since I was, you know, 21. You know, and I can, you know, maybe help you with any insecurities you might be dealing with. Even though I'm still dealing with my own. It never goes away, the artist insecurity that sort of it's not good enough, it's got to be better, it's not good enough, it's got to be better. The sort of thing that never goes away, but there's ways to cope with it and deal with it and turn it into something constructive rather than destructive. And I think that would be a cool part of the class, that I'd be able to share that with you guys. Then we can all sit around in a circle on a bonfire and sing Kumbaya. I think it's starting to come into its own. And I think it's starting to build itself. When I look down from here, I can imagine more of what this is going to look like flushed out. I'm going to have to come through and sort of build in the rest of these areas the same way. Thank you very much, Ash. Mimic some of those forms even more down into here in very light ways. Just trying to keep a consistent language moving through the whole thing. You know, I'm looking at the way my lines are going. I'm trying to keep the same line quality. I'm trying to keep the same motions. Even in these tubes, I'm kind of mimicking the same thing I have here. So this feels like one unit. It doesn't feel like a patchwork creature. And you know, maybe sometimes that might be your goal. You want a patchwork creature. And you can go and make sure that everything has its own language. You know, you can explore that. But for me, for this, for my vision, that's not what I'm trying to do. And most of the time, it's probably not what you're trying to do with, it's not your goal in your design for your creature. You want a consistent language. That doesn't mean repeating the same trick the same way every single time. It's just something to keep in mind, you know, when you think about the flow of your character. You think about the elements inside of your character. Those are all things that are very important to keep in mind.